Hi, everybody. This is GM John Fedorowicz. Welcome to my July 30th SimulMaster Simul of the year 2016. We'll be getting started in a couple of minutes. The summer is one of the best times for chess, and I'm taking white this month. Probably maybe I'll try to alternate what colors I take because I actually like playing the black pieces also. Get some practice whenever I play in tournaments. It's always harder for me to play the black pieces in white. White actually, I went one time 6 years without losing a game, and so with white I always felt a little more comfortable. With black, sometimes my Sicilians get mated, and sometimes my I don't play the King's Indians anymore. I would say sometimes my King's Indians would get cramped out, but now sometimes my Queen's Indians get cramped out. So it's the same thing. So it's a. I'm happy to play either color in these simul's. They're always a lot of fun, and I think I do better when I'm playing black. So welcome to the simul, and the summer is a good time for chess. Last week we had the Bilbao Masters, which I was a little disappointed in. Not a lot of decisive results happened there, and it's not their fault. They're just such strong players. They don't want to lose to each other, so you get more solid games, and that makes sense to me. And then I'm following the Extra Con tournament in Helsingor, Denmark, where my good friend Jim Tarjan back a couple of years ago went from 1984 to 2014, 30 years without playing chess, and now he plays, and he's playing in the Extraton Denmark tournament in Helsingor, Denmark, and I'm following that. Jim is going to play tomorrow morning. He's going to be playing black against Alexei Shirov, so that'll be fun to watch. Hopefully, he'll do some good preparation and see if he could draw or even beat the guy. You never know. That would be good. But he has his good score anyway, 7 out of 9, and tomorrow will be round 10. And Jim told me once when I was a kid that if you do your job means beating people lower rated than you just about all the time, and that's what Jim has done in this tournament. So it's a good job. 7 out of 9 going into the last round, not bad at all. So good luck to him tomorrow. And uh, and then I'm following my student. Apurva is playing in the Pan American youth in Uruguay, Montevideo, Uruguay, and she's doing pretty well. She's got 6 out of 8. Tomorrow's the last round, 9. Unfortunately, her tournament is very small and not very strong. So the girl she lost to in round 3, Natalie Monroy, is has a point lead, and I don't expect her to give it up. So maybe a Purva could come in second, and then coming up is the Singfield Cup and then the Olympics, the chess Olympics and the Rio Olympics, one after another. So a lot of action going on. So let's get it started here. Misha Bobby, A4, A5. Familiar opponents, Abba's Child. Thanks for playing again. I'm doing fine, by the way. I hope you are too. A Lexus, not sure that we've ever played before. Uh, Usually I'm mixing up D4s. Sometimes I play D4 a lot. Chess 24, we've played many times. Lots of Kings Indians, Dealmaker. I think he might be new. 1400 player. Everybody's tough. DK11, welcome to the Simul. Um, I tried to play D4, Duke Bishop. Welcome to the Simul also. Ernie 1. Jay Russell, we played before. MK Shanks Cool, not a familiar opponent to me. And Pasqualino, we have played before as well. And Sabra Tooth, Tigaz, first time I believe. I'm very good at remembering the games. Spindock and Tahoe Sam, we've played many times before. A very tough opponent, probably my toughest opponent. Okay, Dealmaker on a second round of moves. Looks like we got a Sicilian from Dealmaker. Lexus, we're into a Dutch defense. Spindock has gone D4, D6, which gives me the opportunity. Do I want to stay in a D4 opening with 2C4 or play E4 and move 2? Tahoe Sam's replied knight F6, and I'll just play D4. We'll get into some sort of. I think we played Bogo Indians and stuff like that before. DK11, where early D4, knight F6, J. Russell, D4, D5. Same thing for Burger Bay, a couple of Queen's Gambits. Saber 3's giving me opportunity. I've played D6 and he's replied C6. Now I could play either E4, Caro-Can, or C4, staying in a Queen Pawn opening. I stayed in the Queen Pawn opening. Abbas Child, another Dutch. Duke Bishop, D4, C5, possibilities of Benoni's. D4, D5 from Pasqualino, and Alexis, our third round of moves. Knight F3 against A. Alexis in a Dutch. Could be a heading for a Stonewall Dutch. Dealmaker has gone G6 on move 2, accelerated, hyper accelerated dragon. I had one student of mine, she liked the name, so she played hyper accelerated, even though hyper accelerated and accelerated are basically the same thing. Okay, Tahoe Sam, he's giving me a really hard time in Bogo Indians, so I'm going to try just a G3 and see how that goes. And MK Darshko, Shankul, C4 move 2, Burger Bay, headed for some sort of Queen's Gambit, chess 24. Maybe it'll be a perk today. I know we've had same as King's Indians all over the place. Misha Bobby, another Queen's Gambit. Spindox replied E5. D4, D6, E4, E5. Welcoming black welcomes pawn takes pawn queen trade. It's very hard for white to get an edge there. Even when white gets the council's queen stuff with check, it's still a good position for black. So I was replying knight F3 to that, getting into a normal type of perk. Okay, knight C3, heading for either a King's Indian or Grunfeld against DK11. Saber 3, we're getting into a Slav. J. Russell, Queen's Gambit accepted. Dealmaker has taken, so we have a chance to get into some sort of Moxie bind situation. Pasqualino, normal sort of Queen's Gambit. Burger Bay, we could be getting into a possibly into a note boom if I don't watch it. Note booms are kind of, really like a messy thing to get into. So I think I'm just going to go E3 and stay away from that stuff. Queen's Indian possibility against MK Darshkool, and Tahoe Sam has gone D5, so we may be winding up in a Catalan in a little while. And chess 24 could be a perk or could be a Philidor. A. Lexus has definitely gone in for the Stonewall Dutch. Spin Dock, we're going to be in a Philidor defense. Pasqualino, another opportunity for a note boom, and I think I'll go E3. The notebook scares me a little bit, even though I've been studying with some students. Very interesting stuff. The note boom, with that, and the main variation that is a little crazy in the note boom is the point in the note boom is you get that unbalanced position with the two pass pawns, and that's a very dangerous position. Have to know the theory of that. Okay, knight F6, knight C3 from Dealmaker. Ernie ones D4, E6, C6, another C4. Bishop takes C4 from against me, and the against J. Russell 2. And normal moves against Spin Dock in the Philidor. And now I'll try B3 against A. Lexus. That's in that Stonewall. Somehow Tahoe Sam switched to my board as I was about to go Bishop D2 in another board, which was a Bogo Indian. So I'll have to see. I hope the boards are working correctly today. It was 2 simuls ago where I had a hard time with these boards where they didn't switch properly, and then I lost some games where I didn't even get to move, and some poor people just sat there for an hour until I lost on time, and I don't want that to happen again. Okay, let's see what Tahoe Sam did. Tahoe Sam did B5, which puts an end to any of my ideas of going C4 and playing Catalan. A pretty interesting move, actually, and let's see what kind of thing can I do there after pawn to B5. I can have some A4 replies. Could be interesting. just to force his hand and open the queen side up a little bit. Um, castles would be, I think, the most normal move for me, and so I think I'll castle first, and then do other stuff afterwards. I always play bishop d2 in the Bogo Indian block. It's an option with knight c3, but I always go bishop to d2. Bishop g4 from saber tooth Tigaz, and and I think knight to e5 is the right move for me there. Spindock castle. That's the early goings. I'm going to try a same-ish against dk11. Benko gambit from Duke bishop. Um, Alexis has played queen e7, preventing my bishop a3 idea, and I'm just going to try a bishop to b2, play normal kind of stuff. Dark Anshul's gone queen e7, and I'll just go g3, normal main lines. Burger Bay has transposed me from what was I thought what could be heading for a note boom. He's transposed into a Stonewall. So that's a good transposition for him in the Stonewall, because now he's got pawn on f5, and it's not clear if I can fianchetto there. So I'll just develop with bishop to d3. Abba's Child, another Dutch. Misha Bobby, same thing. Lots of potential note booms that I didn't allow. And Bishop h5 from Saber-tooth Tiger. So in the early going, nothing too worrisome for me yet. I think I don't know if I'm not concerned with any big tactics yet, and but we'll see if I could take advantage. Usually in these simuls, it's nice to get a quick knockout, and see if it's possible to win a couple games fast and see what the story is. Okay, Bishop f4 against Saber-tooth Tiger. I'll get that in. And Alexis, I think I'm going to try knight bd2. There's usually a lot of maneuvering in these stonewalls. Okay, Bishop d3 from Dealmaker. A4 against Spin Doctor. Usually a good thing to do is to cement that bishop in there. Misha Bombi's the same stonewall as before. And b6 from Alexis, and I'll go knight to e5. And a4, a5, we got to see, is that going to be a Nimzo, or what will it look like? MK Darshanko is playing normal moves, queen e7 in the Bogo. A good line for is what he's playing. What I consider the best line for black in the Bogo is what he's doing. Pasqualino's gone knight f6, so we're just in a normal kind of Moran variation. Knight e2 against Burger Bay. And let's see what Alexis is doing. Bishop to b7, and I'm going to play rook to c1. And a4, h5, another opportunity for perhaps a same-ish. And chess 24 has gone in for kind of a Nimzovich position with the e4, d6, d4, knight f6, knight c3, c6, and I'll just play knight f3. So Ernie won. That's going to be another Slav, and Pasqualino has gone knight bd7. And I'm going to play what I usually do there, a queen c2. Queen d3 in the Maroxy blind against Dealmaker. Get out of the way of his discovered attacks with queen to d3. a5 from Alexis. Now, is a4 some sort of annoying threat for me? Not really sure. I'm going to go knight to d3. Looks like a good idea. I'll try another same-ish, a4, h5, and h6 from Spindock, and I usually retreat my bishop back to a2. DK has played e5. I don't know. Sometimes that's premature when it allows the queen trade. It's a little different than a Philidor's where the queen trade happens. But I think I'm just going to go d5 anyway there. Okay, good move from MK Darshanko. Bishop takes d2. I must recapture with the knight. If I recapture with the queen, knight e4 discombobulates me. So that's a good move order there. Okay, Misha Bobby. Here's the first question. In the Misha Bobby game, if I castle's king side, does he have this bishop takes h2 stuff? So I think I'm just going to go f3 just in case there. And the same thing for Burger Bay. We have the same game going on twice. Okay, after bishop f4 against Saber-tooth Tigers, he's gone Bishop to h5. After he's gone bishop h5, I replied bishop f4. He went e3, and now I'll just reply e3, and very solid position for both sides. I think white should always have some sort of slight edge in this position. Okay, same as developing with bishop to e3. Knight a6 from A Alexis, and now I'm going to see any points here for me playing anything. I think I'm just going to go knight to f3. So much maneuvering in those positions. Bishop d2 from against Dealmaker. Getting ready for pawn to b3 and avoiding knight takes e3 tricks. I was always a big favorite of the Maroczy bind. Knight e5 from A Alexis. And A Alexis looks like he's knowing what he's doing here. I'm going to play knight on f to e5 and queen c7 from Spindock, and I think I'm going to go queen to e2. And we're in a normal game in the Bogo Indian. And now let's see what to do. Bishop d6 from Misha Bobby, and I guess I would just castle kingside. So rook c1. So a lot of games here, pretty even type games. And now let's see what to do here. We have A Alexis is trying to load up here, probably for some kind of c5 break at the proper moment. My job is that when it happens, to get some pressure on him on the diagonal. And I actually, when people started doing this b6 stuff in the in the stone wall, I thought it was pretty decent because at least black's getting the bishops. In some positions, black was always trying this bishop e8, bishop d7, e8 to h5 stuff where the bishop just didn't do anything. But the bishop from playing on b7 makes a lot of sense, and also supports this break. So I think I'm just going to play something like e3 and try to hold the position. Okay, bishop d6 from Saber-Tooth Tigers. After that's in that Slav thing where I played knight e5, and I feel like I could just develop there with knight to c3. And okay, now Burger Bay's castled. I think I will castle. Then later on, I'm going to see, can I play for e4? I got one of my b6 Benko gambits going. Now the Misha Bobby deal, like it's the same game. I don't think I can go e4. It would be nice to go e4 there, but I think I'm better off just developing with bishop to d2 and getting some pieces out. Rook fd8 from A Lexus, very good play. And now I got to see where does my queen belong here. I'm always on the lookouts to see when could c5 be a good move. I'm thinking that my queen should go to e2 here. There's a lot of tension in the center. Knight h5 from DK11. That's a good move. If you see he's threatening to go queen to h5 for check. I think I'm going to go bishop to e3, and then bishop g4 from chess24. I'm going to play h3. And I think I'm back to DK11 where I'm playing bishop to e3. E4 again in the Bogo Indian. G6, a good move from Ernie 1. He wants to go bishop f5. That's a good line. And queen c7 from the Saber-Tooth Tiger. That doesn't feel right to me. And I'm almost immediately going to go c5. And I think he has to go bishop takes knight there. And I feel like I'm getting an advantage if he does that. Okay, now I want to see what's happening here with A Alexis. If I'm ever allowed to go c5 in one of these positions. So I'm looking at c5 and I'm wondering if he goes let's say bishop takes e5, he might win a pawn on c5 if I do it the wrong way. He's definitely threatening knight takes a2, so I have to address that thing. So I think that I'm thinking that I should just go knight takes b4 and send that one backwards. So I feel like in most of my openings, it's normal positions. Knight a6 from a4, h5. I guess I'll go bishop d3. Knight a6 sometimes is unusual in the in the same-ish positions. Okay, chess 2001. Let's see what he's up to here. Does he want to go bishop h5, or does he want to just play bishop takes f3, giving up the bishop pair very early? And it's a position for both sides either way. And he did go for bishop h5. And after bishop h5, there's a lot of weird stuff here. I remember things happening with g4 could be played. I thought the most normal move here would be queen to e2, which looks a little strange to some people because it might be, what are you doing? And what it is it's trying to take advantage and maybe cancel queenside quickly. So queen e2. Pawn takes, recapture from Alexis in that stone wall. And now I got to see, what do I like here? I'm leaning towards f3. And f5 from dk11. And I think I'm going to go queen to d2. And dk11's playing pretty interesting stuff there. Immediate retreat, knight f6 from Alexis. And now I'm looking to see, I'm thinking of maybe some doubling rooks on the c file sometimes. Trying to get some pressure on the file. I feel like my pawns are solid. Rook fd1 looks like a kind of a normal move too. I don't know if I can claim to have any advantage here. So I'm just going to play normal moves as well. I'm looking at c5, although I don't really see what that does. So I think I'm just going to go rook fd1, and that looks like a pretty regular development there. Okay, queen e7 from Burger Bay. I'm going to go bishop d2. And now Spindock has gone knight f8. Now, the usual routine in these kinds of Fedorowicz defenses are, when can I play something like queen to c4? He hasn't castled. And I don't know, will queen c4 bother him at all? And what will he reply? I'll be hitting the f7 pawn. I mean, a move like bishop to, let's say a move like bishop to d8, I think I'm pretty happy to see because he's going backwards. So I'm thinking about that a little bit. And what other kind of attempts are there here? Something simple like rook to d1 would be good. h3 is a good waiting move. Stops bishop g4 ideas, but I think I'm going to try queen to c4 and see what he does. Okay, so a6 from Misha Bobby. Maybe. Does he really want to play b5, or did he play a6 to just guard the b5 square? Because sometimes if I go pawn takes pawn, he wants to take back with the c pawn and not have this move knight b5 happen, bothering that bishop, and then I would follow it up with bishop to b4. So I think that a6 is a good move for Misha Bobby. And I'm now against Misha Bobby. I think I'm going to play something like, I think I'm going to try queen to e1, get my queen over to that side. Benko Gambit. I always decline the Benko Gambit b6. It's just that I felt uncomfortable over the years playing the Benko Gambit when I played it so much myself. And, sometimes it's weird playing against your own openings. King h8 from Burger Bay. Not 100% sure that I understand that move. I mean, I think I'm just going to go queen e1 over there and get my queen over to the king's side. Pasqualino has gone bishop to b7. I'm just going to castle. Saber-tooth Tiger had to go bishop takes bishop, and I'm just going to take back with the bishop. And my bishop looks nice. I'm going to see if I can bother him now. Okay, a6 from Dealmaker, and I'm just going to go b3. I call those the mindless. I always refer to those moves as the mindless Maroczy bind moves because you just play them in almost every Maroczy bind. Okay, Alexis, good move, c5. And now I'm looking to see, it's a lot of tension in the center here. If any of it should be relieved, what's the best way to do it? I think that I'm going to take on C5 first. That looks decent. Okay, now on the saber-tooth tiger game, I'm thinking about bishop to D6. I could fracture his king side and make castling a little less attractive to him. But bishop to D6 looks pretty good though, and just keep him from castling. I mean, anytime you can keep your opponent's king from castling, the longer you can go without him castling, the better it has to be. So I'm going for that type of thing there. Okay, now Pasqualino, always on the lookout here to see when can I go E4 in these games. And the thing is, when E4 happens there, sometimes he exchanges and goes and plays some moves like knight to F6, hitting my bishop, and then when my bishop goes back to D3, I have to be careful that my king side doesn't get wrecked. So I think I'm going to try something like rook to D1 and see what's going on with that center there. Okay, Alexis has recaptured with the pawn, of course, and now I have to see what am I doing to him here. I think I'm going to try. I'm looking at rook to D2 things. It's very hard. You could call this a hanging pawn position that he has in the center, but they're so well protected. And I think that probably we would have to say that this position is about equal. So I'm looking at all kinds of E4 breaks. I'm looking at F4 ideas. I'm thinking of just going rook to D2, and then just doubling rooks and maybe hoping for some pressure at some point. Okay, saber-tooth tigers has gone bishop G6, attacking my queen, and I think that so my moves that I'm thinking about are certainly queen to B3 looks nice, hitting his B pawn. How does he defend that? Maybe with B6. I think I like that queen B3. Let me gain it. Although, hold on, I wasn't sure. I didn't want him to have knight to E4 to bother my bishop, which he can't do immediately, but he might be able to do it afterwards. So I think I'm going to go for queen to D2 and stop that knight E4 stuff and maintain my bishop on D6. Okay, let's see. So DK11 has canceled, and I think I'm going to try taking on F5 and then canceling. Bishop D8 from spin dock. And now the question here is it when he goes bishop D6, is D5 do anything for me? There could be queen exchanges, so I'm not completely unclear on whether that's going to be good for me or not. So I'm looking at other things here. Pawn takes pawn. Well, I don't know. I think I think his bishop D8, even though his bishop got misplaced, I think it solved his, pretty much ended my threat in a decent kind of way. I wasn't sure about pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, knight takes E5 maybe. I don't know. I think I'm going to give that a try. And let's see how that looks. Okay, Benko Gambit, where he's opened up the center. Knight A6 from saber-tooth. And that doesn't help his castling kingside problem at all. I'm going to just go bishop to E2. Try and get out of there as fast as possible. Solid play from Ernie 1. Bishop takes E5 from A. Alexis. I'm a little bit surprised at that. Giving me the bishop pair like that surprises me a little bit. So I'm not really sure, why he likes that one so much. But okay, let's see what to do here against Tahoe Sam. Very interesting position, sort of a new position for me. I don't think I've ever had this position before. I remember one time against Alexander Ivanov, he played some kind of Polish against me. And this is sort of a Polish. The Polish is when black goes B5 early, but here this is more of a mixture, a Catalan Polish, which is really something kind of new. So I think I'm going to see what looks nice here. I think I'm going to try to loosen them up a little bit by playing A4. Castle's queen side from saber-tooth. Wow. Oh man, I don't know about this. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna cancel kingside, and it feels like my king is really safe now. Okay, pawn takes pawn from Alexis, and let me see how to trade here. Now I'm gonna have to take I'm gonna have to take with a pawn. I think I'm gonna trade rooks on D8, and I have to take with a pawn on C4. It's possible I could take with the queen. Okay, Duke Bishop has gone D6, and I think I'll go Bishop C4 there and get my pieces out. It's not clear yet where my knight on B3 belongs, where my knight needs to be developed yet. Okay, Burger Bay did well there. Pawn takes pawn, and now Misha Bobby, interesting. He just won Queen E8, and I'm thinking of going Queen to H4 and just keeping an eye on things from that side. H5 from Sabretooth, and now I'm looking for shots. And A3 to me looks like just a normal move to threaten to trap in his queen on the next move and get my queenside stuff going. Okay, now how does it look with Alexis if I just go queen takes C4? Okay, let me do the queen takes C4 and see how this one looks. And then I was going to go rook takes C4, but then he does some checks and stuff, so that's not completely clear. Pawn takes may make the most sense for me, and that's what I'm going to do. Guard some squares. Okay, E5 from Burger Bay looks like a pretty good thing to do. And now I have to see here. He took on C4 and then he went E5. That looks like a pretty decent play. And now how do I want to take advantage of this? His position is a little more active than mine, but mine could get active pretty fast as well. So what do I do here? I don't want to get an isolated pawn on D4 because that won't look very good. Unless he would give me the bishop pair there. Let's see. Burger Bay has said he's played this line for black many years. King H8 with the idea. Doing this queen E1's a new move. The main idea for white is to play queen C2 and play for E4. Yeah, okay, but in certain queens Indian positions, it's allowed to hang out. So I think I'm just going to go bishop to B3 and get out of the way of stuff. Okay, bishop to C4. Bishop E6 from Spindock, and will that allow me to go pawn takes D6? Pawn takes D6. And come up a pawn. Okay, Alexis has gone knight to D7, and I'm going to go bishop all the way back to A1. Knight H5 from DK11. I'm going to cancel queenside. Okay, Pasqualino. Now, at what moment can I do something here? I figure he's going to go C5 at some moment, and I want to be ready for that. I think I'm just going to go pawn to B3 and do regular development. So we got the Benkos, knight to B6 from Alexis wants to work on my C4 pawn. Looks like a pretty good idea. Let's see. And I don't know what. Usually, I'm looking at pawn breaks here, and I don't really see anything that does any good for me. It's very possible that black could be better in this position. He has the bishop pair, and potential to bother one weak pawn. So I'm looking at queen to B3 to maybe to keep him tied up. And, maybe I'm going to go queen to B2 and see if I could keep him tied up on a diagonal. And now chess 24 goes, first he went bishop H5 and then queen E2 and bishop takes F3. I guess it comes to be the same thing. Okay, bishop E6 from Spindock. And I'm just going to go queen back to E2. And bishop to B7 from Alexis, and I'm going to go bishop to F1. And queen E2 against Jay Russell, just developing, getting ready for a rook to D1. Okay, Misha Bobby has played rook F7, and I think I'm going to try to hit with E4. Knight D7 from Dealmaker, I'm going to go rook AC1, normal kind of position. And chess 24 has gone E5. So now with my light squared bishop, I'm looking at ideas like takes, and bishop c4. And also I'm checking bishop. I think I'm going to go for bishop e3, which looks like the sharpest thing to do. King to B1, castle queenside, always nice to get out of the way. Castle's queenside for Pasqualino, I'm developing. Rook to D7 from A. Alexis, a safe move. Just overprotecting his G7 pawn just in case. And now I think I'm just going to go bishop to E2 and make sure I guard my position a little bit there. Queen D5 from Ernie. I think I'm just going to drop back with Queen C2, hope to get control of the center later. Let's see. MK Darkin School has gone C6. That looks okay. And I think I'm just going to reply A6 there. And Queen D6 from A. Alexis. It probably looks like he wants to maybe offer a trade of queens on D2, and then I'm going to see can I go rook to D1 here? Would he trade the queen? I don't think he would do a queen sack there. Okay, so I'm gonna go rook to D1 and see if I could trade the queens against chess 24. My big question here is should I cancel queenside or should I go pawn? I think I'm gonna sharpen it up and cancel queenside and let's see how that goes. Okay, Misha Bobby has gone bishop to E7. Let's see, and looking for discovered attacks. And I'm wondering about what just moving my queen or maybe taking on F5 first. And then he gets a discovered attack on my queen. I don't know. The only discovered attack on my queen that would bother me was it looks like knight to E4. So I'm looking at pawn takes F5, knight E4. I think I'm going to go for that. So let me try that out there. And then I'm going to try to take advantage of holes in his positions. Okay, so now A. Alexis has dropped back Queen C7, and I'm going to play. Let's see. I'm looking at ideas like Queen takes, Rook takes, and Queen E5 and stuff like that to see what would be there. Sometimes that position could dry up pretty easily. And I have everybody covered. He could hit at my C pawn. He always has to be careful of the bishop pair. I would have to say that this position is probably pretty equal. So I'm gonna trade rooks on D7 and just get some kind of position. I don't think I have anything there. Okay, H6 and Pasqualino. I don't know if that was necessary. I'm just gonna go rook to C1. Pawn to B4 from Tahoe Sam. And that would be a normal move there. Absolutely, pawn to B4. And now I guess I'm going to try to open him up, Catalan type of style, and just go C4. Against MD Starkin School, I'm going to take back on C4 and hope that maybe a knight on C4 could be very nice for me. Chess 24 has gone Queen to A5, which is a sensible move. Sometimes he can get B5, B4 in. Now I'm trying to see what should I do here. I'm thinking about going G4 and pushing his knight around just like he's trying to push my knight around. Spindock has gone Queen C7, and I think I'm going to go, I'm going to try E5 there. Okay, Queen takes D7 from A. Alexis, and now I have to see what the deal is here. He is threatening knight takes C4, so I think I'm just going to go Queen to C2. And Pasqualino has gone Rook C8, so he's sort of mimicking my moves, but he's right to do that, and that's a normal thing to do, and I'm going to get out of the way with Queen to E2. Abba's Child, okay, castles, I'm going to castle. And now in this game with Misha Bobby, can I take on F5? I'm wondering. So I snatch on F5. What is he up to here? I mean, if he discovers on me, there's an H7 hanging. So I think I'm just going to go bishop takes F5 there and see what happens. Bishop to E6, knight on 6 to D7 for Spindock. And I feel like my position is very nice here. This would be one where I would be hoping for possibilities for a quick one. So I'm looking to see what to do here. I don't want to. I don't want to help developing. I think I'm going to just go rook e1 and protect my pawn. Okay, bishop to d7 from MK Sarkin School, and I'm going to play. Let me do knight to c4. Pawn takes pawn from J. Russell. I'll go rook to d1 to get my pawn back. Pawn to b4 against Abba's Child, and a pawn sack from DK 11. Now, sometimes you have good Benko gambits, sometimes you don't, and sometimes I don't even want to take these pawn sacks because they help to open up the other side. But what's a good move here for me against DK11? I was thinking of maybe just trying to go bishop h6 at some point because his bishop does have a real chance to be strong. So I'm thinking of just going bishop h6. Bishop takes a2 from spin dock. Rook takes a2. Hopefully my rook will return later. Pawn takes pawn from J. Russell. Going to try to crack him open. And I just played d5 by accident against Burger Bay. So that one I did not mean to do. But that's the way it goes with the mouse slip situations. So bishop takes against Misha Bobby. Bishop e7 from Duke Bishop. I'll castle. Queen f7 from A. Alexis, and now I have to see if I'm trying to win here. What's a sensible thing for me to do? If there was some way for me to protect my pawn and get in there at the same time, I mean, I'm looking at something like pawn to a3 here. I am not really convinced about that. Pawn takes pawn, and then I play something like queen to b3, attacking this pawn. I mean, it just feels like to me that all that's going to do is maybe I can make a draw somehow. So, all right, but I'm going to try it, and if it turns into a draw, that's okay because he played pretty well. It was just a normal game there. Okay, knight e6 from spin dock. That's to be expected coming out, and I guess he'll come out with his pieces. I'm going to play rook back to a1. And pawn takes pawn from Pasqualino. And I'm going to take back with the bishop. Pawn takes pawn from chess 24. And that's a good question. I could take back with a rook. I think I'm going to take back with the bishop. Queen b3 against A. Alexis. And let's see what happens here now against spin dock. Spin dock, I feel like I should do regular development. I'm up a pawn here. What's the best way for me to come out my pieces? I think I'm just going to try bishop to d2 and take it easy. Okay, Alexis has gone queen c7. And now when I go queen takes a6, he has bishop c4. And we got to see how this one's working here. Okay, bishop takes c4. And what's going on here? All right, I'm going to try queen takes a3. I'm not too worried about losing, but I just don't think I'm going to win. Rook fd8 from Pasqualino, and now I have to see when do I want to go e4. I think I should play e4 right now. I don't think he's in good shape to reply e5. All right, I'm going to go knight to g3 against Duke Bishop, try and get a knight into f5. Bishop takes c4 from A. Alexis, and now I'm going to, let's see, how will I do this? Takes... let's see. Takes on b3. Takes on c4, I guess. Let me do that first. Discovery from Misha Bobby. And I guess I just must go back with my queen to e1. Knight takes c4. And now I thought queen to b3 was a strong move from me. But let's see what ALS is intending on queen b3. If I could get that e6 pawn, I would be very happy. And what would his reply be there? Okay, I'm going to go queen to b3 and see what's going on. Queen to bishop g7 developing from Ernie, and I'm just going to play knight c3 and come out with my pieces. Bishop e7 after c4 from Taco Sam. And that seems okay. And after bishop to e7, what seems like a good move after bishop to e7 is a very nice question here. C takes d5, trying for some position where the c file has holes. I guess seems to make sense. Okay, I was sorry about that. I've never taken a take back in a Simul, but if Burger Bay wants to offer me the take back, I would appreciate it because the board switched and I obviously did not mean to go d5, which just loses a pawn for nothing. So thanks to Burger Bay, so we could still play a normal game. Okay, so Burger Bay has gone bishop e6. Looks like a good move, and I'm gonna play. Let's see. I was thinking about pawn takes e5. I think I'm going to try pawn takes e5 and see what happens here. Okay, knight c4, and then bishop takes bishop to b5 from MK Darkin School. So I have to see what's my idea here. I always felt like, okay, knight on d3 to b2, just protecting everybody, and then just hoping to have a strong knight on c4 for later could be a good idea. Let's see. I can't go knight takes a5, queen takes a5, bishop takes pawn, pawn takes, and then knight to c5, and he's getting his e pawn back. So I think because of that, I got to rule that out. So I think I'm going to try knight to c5. Sorry, rook to c1 and see what kind of move he does there. Okay, now on deal maker, I think I'm just going to go rook fd1. Like I said, the mindless moves. Okay, queen a7 from a Lexus looks like a good move. And now he's threatening my bishop, and now I'm checking out to see what sort of moves do I have here. I'm looking at bishop takes g7, and I'm looking at queen takes c4. But if I go queen takes c4, he has queen a1, and then queen e5 protecting everybody. So I don't know. And I'm worried here about if I go. Let's see. I'm not sure here. I think that I might have to try bishop to c3 and see what is he up to there. Or I'm just going to play bishop c3 and hit his knight on c4 and see what he's got planned after that. Okay, bishop e7 from Spindock. Spindock's starting to come out. And I'm just going to go rook on a to d1. Knight takes c3 from Misha Bobby, and I think, what should I take this back with? Well, he has to take back my bishop yet, so I think I'll just take back with a knight and see if I could go up a couple of pawns. Knight e5 from chess 24, and I have to move my queen somewhere. Queen e3 is one thought, queen g3 is the other thought. They both look pretty nice to me, so I'm going to go queen g3. Pawn to b4 from dk11, and that's after I just went bishop h6. If I go knight a4, he might be messing up my side. I don't know. Knight a4 is tempting because of a potential pawn snatch. But if he ever went bishop d7 and took my knight, I wouldn't be too happy about that. I think I'm just going to settle for knight e2 there. Play it safe. Okay, Ernie really wants to trade queens. Ernie has gone queen f5, and now I'm thinking of either queen b3, which could cause some situations on that side, but what can be wrong with e4? Just a tempo. Okay, Misha Bobby's recaptured. I'm going to take on d5, and I feel like I'm coming up 2 pawns up there. Again, Spindock, let's see what to do here. I'm thinking just bishop to c1. He still has no pressure on my e5 pawn, so I can play that. Okay, queen a6 from A. Alexis, but what happened? What just happened to queen check on b8? Castles, knight c3 from J. Russell. Bishop to pawn to b6 from MK Shankin School. Okay, and now let me see. Do I have any tricks here? I'm wondering if I go a4. If I go a4, he'll play bishop takes and knight c5 and lock that side. So if that side gets locked, that means I'm playing for f4 stuff. I'm wondering if f4 is just my best move here anyway. Okay, king h7 from A Alexis. Now I'll go queen c7. And I'm getting his g7 pawn, I feel. Okay, now we got to see. Pasqualino, there's choices here. I have e5 or d5. So d5, he takes. Also, there's knight b5 ideas for me in there as well. So I'm thinking that I like d5 here, but I mean, e5 certainly deserves a look for sure. I think e5 probably is the best move for me against Pasqualino. Okay, now let's see what's happening here against A Alexis. He's gone king to e8. And now he doesn't have any checks with his queen that are bothering me yet. So do I want to take with my queen on g7, or do I want to take with the bishop? And how do I make threats against his king? So I think I'm going to try queen takes g7. Okay, now what's happening here against Dealmaker? Rook ac8. And in these positions, it's always, when is the right moment to go into d5? And I feel like this might be a right moment with some fork tricks and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that. Okay, Spindock has gone rook to e8, and now I have to see when's he starting to bother me with those with my e pawn. He's starting to get a little nice pressure on there with the e pawn. For instance, if I go knight takes, he's got discovered attacks all over the place. So that looks okay for him. So I have to see what to do here. Was thinking about queen c4, not really sure what it does. Queen e4, he can move his knight somewhere. G3, something like that could be reasonable for me. I think I'm just going to go G3, give some air for my king, take my time. Okay, Burger Bay has gone bishop takes e5. That was the first time I ever had to take back, but thank you, Burger Bay. But, you know, it does that sometimes, and it's weird when it does it because the board switches over so fast. Okay, I'm going to take on e6, see what kind of stuff I could come up with. Nice move, knight c5 from the Hammer School. I'll exchange on c5. Knight takes e3 from A Alexis. And now that's okay. I see what he's up to. That's a big threat there. Now I got to be careful. So if I'm begging for perpetual checks here, nobody can blame me because he's threatening queen f1 is a biggie. So let's see. So now I'm looking for perpetuals. I'm going to try to chase his king around. I think I'm going to try. Okay, I'm going to go queen g8 check. Try to stay close. Bishop f6 from Misha Bobby, and I think I'm just going to try bishop to e3 and keep all my stuff and look out for pins and stuff. Knight d5 from Pasqualino. And I was looking at now, what do I want to do here? Bishop takes d5 or knight takes d5? I think I'm going to do bishop takes d5 and try to get some e6 action in. Okay, Ernie, let's see what to do with Ernie here. If the queen on g4 isn't bothering me, I should just leave it there. So I'm thinking of just going e5 here. And I don't think he's going to make any attack on me, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to see what's up with that. All right, so I'm going to go try f4 against Burger Bay. Knight to against J. Russell, knight to a5, and it's got to be bishop to c2. I almost all the time need that bishop. Okay, rook e8, I'm going to try knight f5 against Duke Bishop, go after his bishop pair. Bishop takes d5 from Tahoe Sam. After e takes d5, bishop takes d5, and we got to see what's the story with this game. It still looks like a decent position for me. And nothing bad happening yet. Pawn on b4, hoping that's a little loose. And we'll see what sort of position comes from this. I guess a normal move for me here could be something like knight to d2, perhaps to try and get some fast e4s in. Knight d2, maybe to get rook e1 and e4, queen c2 and e4. Pawn to b3, maybe to just develop and come out nice and try to use c5. Although I think that he'll probably be playing c5 pretty fast. So that's that's the question there. So let me see what to do here. I think I'm just going to try knight b d2. Okay, f4 from dk11. That's going to force me to play bishop takes g7. Okay, now against Alexis, I'm trying to see. I'm gonna have to do a lot of checks here, and if I'm lucky, maybe I can pick up his knight sometime. I think that I have to go queen g7. Okay, let me see if I can go bishop g5 against Duke bishop. Okay, now Jay Russell has gone pawn to b5, and now I have to look to see. Always on the lookout for shots in these isolated pawn positions. Like even in this position, I don't know. Could there be a shot with d5? You know, this is the question. A normal move would be bishop to g5, but I got to look to see it. I got to look to see if d5 is some kind of move here. D5. If he takes with the pawn, what would I do? Okay, I'm gonna try d5. Not sure about that. Feels like it's the right move, but we'll see. Okay, let's see. dk11. Now, is this a snatchable pawn for me on b4 in the dk11 game? But I'm a little worried about knight f5 coming into e3. There are brave pawn snatchers in chess. Like Korchnoi was always one. I could never be accused of being a brave pawn snatcher. I would always prefer to be safe than worry about something. So I think I'm going to try g4 there and see what happens. Okay, against Ernie, I think now against Ernie originally I thought knight takes d5. Okay, I'm going to try knight takes d5 against Ernie, and then see if I can win a pawn. Okay, against Alexis, I think that maybe I think that maybe I'm going to make a draw here. Queen to g8 again, and it would seem like a draw would be the right result there. Bishop takes in between move from Emna and Shang School. Weird, surprising in between move. And now I wasn't sure if I could do an in between move back on him. No, I can't. So, all right, I'm going to have to take with the rook on c4, it looks like. Okay, bishop f, queen d7 from Misha Bobby, and I guess I should just take this pawn on c6. And now, what's my deal here against Ernie? I want to win a pawn here, and I'm looking at queen, let's say queen c7 or queen b3. I think queen b3 looks good, forks two pawns. And now I guess Alexis looks like we're heading to a draw. I could take on h7, but king d6, I have no more checks except for a bishop check. So I must go queen g7, and then that looks like our first draw of the day. And it was a good game by him. You know, proper development and everything looked very nice for him. Okay, now what did I do against this Jay Russell here? I did sacrifice the pawn, and I'm looking to see how do I get it back. I'm looking at knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen e4. And let's see how that looks. I am not completely convinced by it. Okay, Misha Bobby, what's the deal here? I'm up 2 pawns, and my position looks pretty solid. I think I'm going to give 1 pawn back for positional chess and play knight to e4. Okay, castles from Tahoe Sam. And now I'm looking at queen c2. I would like it if I could keep him from playing c5. So I don't know, maybe knight to b3. Okay, queen back to d7 from Ernie. I got to admit, I wasn't very good about that. He just played a simple move and defended his 2 pawns. And now the position is looking pretty equal. I must have had better than this. I mean, this is just unacceptable play on my part. I'm just going to go bishop to d2 and just try and get my pieces out now. Arday Shankin School has gone pawn takes c5. Looks like good play on his part. And now I'm looking to see what's good for me here. I'm checking out pawn takes pawn, but then he goes queen e5. I feel like I should go pawn to b4 and trade a lot of stuff. And Abba's Child, that game, I don't know why that game hasn't shown up lately. Now it's possible that he's lining up for some kind of Stonewall and other types of things there. A5, DK11 has protected his position. And now, let's see, how do I get my pieces out here? I'm going to go H4. Queen takes E3, Misha Bobby. I'm very happy to be up a pawn positionally. Let's see. Castle's queenside from chess 24. I'm just going to play F4. Looks pretty normal. Bishop F8 from spin dock. Still looking to see how can I protect my E pawn. Maybe pawn to B3. Knight C6 from Ernie, and I'm just going to play Rook F to C1. I think the positions become completely equal after I did that blunder there. And now I'm going to go Bishop to D2 against Tahoe Sam. Don't really feel like I have much in this game. Don't feel like I have anything, as a matter of fact. Okay, Queen E4 against Jay Russell. Queen E4 or Queen D3, does it matter? I don't think so. Okay, Queen E4. Pawn takes pawn against M.D. Shammerstool. Interesting move from Abba's Child. Always wondering in these positions when to crack with D5. Always wondering about that. Thinking about cracking with D5 here. Wondering about A4. He wants to put his bishop on B7. I don't know. D5 is sort of an interesting looking move here. I don't really know. I go D5. How does he capture? The idea would be to try to give him a hole in E6. Knight C3 goes bishop to G7. All right, I'm going to try Knight C3 first. Just normal move there. E6 from Ernie. Yeah, Ernie's doing well here. I mean, it's just a normal game. Probably, pretty equal position now. All right, I'm going to try H4. Get some business going. DK11, nice move, Knight D7. That looks like a really good square for a knight for him. I'm going to see when that knight gets there if I can exchange it because I don't want it staying there for too long. Okay, now Misha Bobby, I feel like I'm just positionally better here. So I think I'm just going to go queen to C5 or something like that. Maybe offer trade queens in some occasions. Okay, queen's rook A4, good move from M-Day Hammer School, and I think I'm just going to play. Well, I got to be a little careful about his queen checks showing up on A7. Will they do something? Okay, I think I'm going to go queen to C3, protect my stuff. Bishop to B7 from J2 Russell, and has J2 Russell missed something? I just played Queen H7 mate, I think. So what just happened there is interesting. I mean, he had to protect against the mate. Okay, Knight C5 from Spindock. Now, Spindock is still not threatening to take his pawn back, is he? I can go Bishop F4 for a moment. He could go G5 then. I don't know. Are there tricks to take back his pawn? Seems like he might have some tricks here. All right, I'm going to go Bishop F4 and see what's up with that. Queen takes E6 from Pasqualino. Now, I have to see, is he getting in any trouble there? Okay, now, I'm thinking about D5 against Abba's Child. Crack him open there, see what the story is. H5 against Ernie. Okay, King to F8 against Pasqualino. And now, is there what kind of ideas do I have here? I'm thinking about pawn takes pawn, and then taking on D5 in the right situation. How does that look? Unfortunately, Knight E5 does not win for me. Rook E1, maybe. Rook E1, Bishop F6. I think I'm going to go for Rook E1. Okay, so Abba's Child. And what should I do? I was thinking, okay, I'm going to take back with pawn takes pawn. B3 from DK11. And I think I'm now... should I trade on... I think I'm very happy to trade on C5. Okay, I'm going to go against Ernie. He's played Knight to E7. Good move. And I'm going to play... I think I'm going to try Queen to A3. Okay, pawn takes f4 from MK Shankshaw, and I'll take back. And queen d7 from Burger Bay looks pretty decent. And let's see, I can't work on his pawn. I'm thinking about I'm going to try queen to b1. But do I have to be careful of c5 though? No, I should probably take it easy and just settle for rook to d1 and see what the story is there. Okay, now chess 24. I got him going backwards a little bit, and I'm wondering about. I think I like the looks of bishop to c4 here. Hits f7. I'm going to move my. I'm going to just go against dk11. I'm going to move my king to b1, and a queen trade from Pasqualino. I sort of missed that. I guess I didn't really want a queen trade here because I had some good action going with knight to b5 and whatnot. So I have to see. I think I'm just going to go queen f5 check and see what happens. Okay, now in the game with dk11, can I work on his e-pawn a little bit? Let me go rook to e1. Rook takes b4 from Mr. Shankul, and I'm going to take on b4. Rook e5 from Duke Bishop, and I'm going to go queen to f3. Knight back to e6 from Spindock. And I mean, he's bothering me a little bit, that's for sure. You know, he's getting some play going here. I think I'm going to try. Well, I'm going to try. If I try queen to e3, he's got bishop c5 ideas. Queen e4, he bothers my knight. Knight to e4 here. I don't know how happy I am about my getting my king side messed up like that. All right, I'm going to try knight to e4. The king side's not beautiful after that. Okay, let's see what's happening. Tough games today. Nobody's, maybe, one loss game, I think. Was it one loss game? Okay, a6, and now let's see, bishop to b4 against Ernie. Try and tie him up a little bit. Queen d7 against Ambus Child. And now what do I do here? Try to get my d5 pawn back. Maybe queen to b3. Rook takes c1 from Ernie. I got to go rook takes c1 myself. Ernie will no doubt go rook c1 himself. Okay, we have queen to d6 from dk11. And I guess I'm just going to develop with knight h3. Knight c7 from chess 24. Now, as chess 24, what I'm keeping an eye on against chess 24 is that he's ever going to start pushing his pawns on me. And I want to make sure if that happens, that it's safe for me. So I think I'm going to go bishop to b3. Well, I don't know. a3 is interesting. I think I'm going to go a3 and try and secure my bishops. Okay, c5 from Tahoe Sam. He's cracked it open. I guess I have to take. Queen check from Milder Shankar, and I have to move my king. Rook c1, a good move from Ernie. I think I have to trade the rooks, and he'll take back with his knight. And now I got to see what have I accomplished here. Any business going on the other side? I'm going to just try. I don't know. I think I'm going to try. I was thinking about bishop to c5 just to see if I could keep his knight bottled up. Queen a5 looks interesting too. All right, I think I'm just going to try bishop to c5, see if I could keep his knight bottled up. I think that's pretty equal though. Okay, pawn to b4 from chess 24. And I'm just going to go bishop to, let's see, can I go bishop to a2? He's coming up fast with these guys. All right, I'm going to go bishop to b3. I'm not sure that I paid attention there, but we'll see. Okay, knight takes knight against Tahoe Sam. Another queen trade offer from Pasqualino, completely normal. I'm going to try queen to h7. Okay, h4, h5. And against h4, h5, why can't I go pawn? I'm going to try pawn to b4. Rook c1 against Tahoe Sam looks like a normal sort of move. Knight takes f4 from Spindock. H6 against DK11, keeping my knight at a G5, but my knight is just as happy to go to F2. F5 from Dealmaker. Feels a little loose to me, you know? I mean, feels a little bit loose. I'm looking at pawn to B4. Think I'll do it. Doesn't feel like, you know, the spirit of the Accelerated Dragons. Usually Accelerated Dragons is trying to be solid. The Simul's been going for about an hour, so, you know, and pretty tough games here. Pawn to B4, so I was talking about, I'm looking forward to the Sinkfield Cup. Okay, knight to E6 from Misha Bobby, and I'm going to offer him a trade of queens on D6. Okay, Queen B3 from Tahoe Sam. Tahoe Sam's up to something as usual. And I'm wondering if it's some knight E4 stuff. And it no doubt is. So how do I deal with that? I'm looking at knight to E5 ideas for myself to have knight to D3. I think I'm going to try knight to E5. Looks fairly solid. Okay, B5 and then C5 from chess 24. And now, where should my bishop go? I think I should keep my queen covering the queen side a little bit. So I'm just going to go bishop to F2. Queen E3 from MK Darshan School. And I think that at this point, you know, what's he threatening? So I think I probably have to try queen to E1. And I like his play here. I thought he played pretty well. I'm looking at other moves. Nope, queen E1 looks like what I have to do. And if I'm lucky, I can make a draw there. Oh, I didn't. And Burger Bay says I might have been able to go queen G5 and pick up the knight against Burger Bay. I was just so intent on a draw that I didn't even see it. Sometimes that happens. Okay, King F7 from Pasqualino, and I'm going to play, let's see, I'm looking at pawn takes pawn, looks nice. Let's go pawn takes pawn and open up this bishop. Pawn to B4, pawn takes pawn from A4, H5. Interesting. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I should just go for a win of a piece here with pawn takes pawn. Pawn takes knight, excuse me. Okay, let's see, Misha Bobby. I'm just going to go rook to E1. Continue to develop. Queen B6 from DK11, and I'm thinking about rook takes E5. Okay, bishop to D5 from Tahoe Sam, and I'm going to go knight to D3 and try and patch myself up. B6 from Ernie. Ernie's forces my bishop back. I'll play bishop back to B4. Pasqualino has gone knight takes C5, and now let me see, do I have any tricks here? Knight takes D5. Is that a trick? Rook takes E7 idea, and hitting his queen. Interesting. Looks like something worth trying. Oh, but does he have some stuff at the end? Knight takes, bishop takes. Okay, knight takes, queen takes. All right, I'm going to try knight takes D5 then. So a lot of stuff there. Okay, rook takes E1. Bishop goes back to E1 against Dealmaker. Keep the bishop pair. Rook takes F3 against A4, H5. And now, what's my best move here? I'm thinking just queen D2. Bishop back to D2 against Ernie. Let's see. And now Misha Bobby's protecting his position, and I think I'm going to just go queen takes C7, get the queens off. I feel like I'm up a pawn there. Queen C8 from Burger Bay. I think I'm going to try. Let's see. It would be nice to get my queen involved. I'm going to see. He's just developing. I think I'm going to try pawn to B3 and get my bishop out on the other side. Queen H5 check from A4, H5. I'm just going to go king to D1. Bishop G2. King takes G2 against Tahoe Sam. Knight H5 from MK Shanker School. And now I really do not want to go rook F1, but If I go e5, I don't know how long my pawns are lasting. So that would be e5. So I'm afraid I have to go rook f1. Okay, a queen b4 trade from dk11. And if I trade queens, that means he's guarded on the a2 square. So can I just play a move like queen to c2 and keep everything normal and then get his queen out of there afterwards? Okay, now for Misha Bobby, can I start to work on his pawns? Let me try rook to d6. Queen b7 check from Tahoe Sam. I'm going back. I'm playing very safe here. Bishop e7 from Tahoe Sam. And I think I'm going to try bishop to g5 and just get rid of some pieces here. And try to have and maybe see, can my knight on d3 just defend my position pretty much by itself? And then, see what happens, a draw or whatever the result is. In the simuls, I just play what the position is. Okay, knight to b6 from Spindock, and I think I'm going to keep that knight off at d5 and go pawn to c4. Don't want that f4 pawn getting hassled. That would be a real bad situation for me. So knight to d7, and now we have to see what does he intend after. Okay, Misha Bobby has gone. My knight on e4, I'm very happy about my knight on e4. It's a very strong piece. I think I'm going to try rook to c1 now and hassle those pawns some more. Okay, pawn to e5 from MK, and now do I have solid moves here? I'll just bring my king over. Okay, now hold on. I have to look out here for knight f6 ideas. So this is maybe not so easy. I'm wondering. Okay, I'm gonna go f4, which is seriously anti-positional, but probably the best way to protect this stuff. Okay, now is Dealmaker trying to provoke f4? All right, I'm gonna go bishop to d3. Okay, Ernie's gone queen c6. And now the only question in the Ernie game is there any way for me to bother him at all? I mean, pawn to h6, does it do anything? Get my queen to e3 maybe? I don't know. I could overdo it here and lose really. So let's see. So let's say if h6, bishop moves, queen somewhere, try to get my queen in there. I think I'm going to try it. What the heck? Okay, now Burger Bay, knight a6. I'm just going to go queen to e2. Bishop f8 from Ernie. I'm going to go queen to e3. Knight d5 from knight e4 from Abba's Child. I'm going to go knight takes knight. Rook e1 from MK Shank School, and I'm just going to go rook to a1. And then I'm going to play on a5. I'm going to go bishop takes f6 against Tahoe Sam because I think his knight can bother me. Okay, now, chess 24, what's he up to here? I'm looking to see, can I open him up somehow? Queen, somehow I like pawn takes pawn, and queen check. Maybe getting my queen to f5 could be a good thing there. Rook takes e5, bishop d7 from dk11, and I'm just going to go... I think I'll just develop with knight to d3 and ask him to back his queen up. That looks okay. Bishop takes e4 against Abba's Child. Looks good. Get my pawn back and hitting d5. Queen h3 check. My intention against chess 24. And now knight to d4 from Misha Bobby. And can I take another pawn? Rook takes a6. Okay, now, Ernie has gone knight e7. He's trying to threaten knight to f5. I have to stop that. I'm going to go g4. Bishop g5 from Dealmaker, and I thought that I had f4, and I just hit his bishop. We'll see if I do. I thought I did. And now, how do I finish my development against dk11? I mean, my bishop, I would like it somewhere better than g2, but I think for now it's going to have to do on g2. Allow me to double my rooks. Okay, h6 from MK Sharkin School, and now how do I want to do this? Can I make? I don't know. Can I make a draw if I play rook to a6? Knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, rook takes. I don't know. I'm going to try it. I don't want to get too passive. Knight f4 from Misha Bobby threatens knight e2 check, but is this another pawn that I could take? Rook takes c5. Okay, queen d7 from Duke's bishop. And I'm going to go knight to h6. Bishop takes e4 from Dealmaker. But I have to look because when I take that pawn, when I take that pawn, he's hitting my my f4 pawn. So that's not that easy yet. Okay, so bishop takes, pawn takes g3. I don't know. I'm going to take on e4 first and then play g3 and see how that works. Okay, so now bishop takes f6 from Tahoe Sam. He's threatening. Bishop takes b2. So I'm going to go queen to b3. Queen takes c4 from a4, h5. My king is in a little bit of a jumble there, but it's fairly safe. So I think I'm going to try bishop to b3 and ask him if he would kindly back his queen up somewhere where it doesn't bother me so much. Okay, so now we have from Misha Bobby, rook check, rook d7. But I don't know if that bothers me all that much. So I'm looking at rook to d6. And how is that? Rook to d6. Let me try rook to d6. Offer him a trade. G3 against Dealmaker. Is G3 right, or should I do bishop to G3? Interesting. Bishop probably. Let me try. He goes queen f5. I'm going to try. It's a tough. I'm going to try g3. I'm not sure about this. Okay, what happened? Bishop f6 is Abba's child, so I will take on d5 with check. And rook takes d5 from Pasqualino, and I will go bishop takes f6. Let's see. Are there other things to look at? Now, what's the score here? What does he have? Does he have he has two pieces for a rook. Is that right? So, okay, I'm going to go bishop takes f6, and then I'm going to get my queen out of the way. Okay, queen f5 was my intention in the chess 24 game, and it still is. Okay, Abba's Ernie's playing very well. Queen c2 looks like a good move. And if I go knight to g5, he has queen d1 check, so I have to go king to g2 if I'm pursuing this attack. Knight takes e4 from M. Shammer School. I shall take this. And now I think against Pasqualino, I should get my queen out of there. And I got to make sure my queen doesn't get trapped in some kind of weird way, which is really possible here because he's got these bishops. So I'm going to go, yep, so I'm going to go queen all the way back to b1. Okay, rook b8 from DK11, although my knight on d3 is doing a good job of covering stuff. I'm thinking that rook e7 may look nice, but doubling rooks feels good too. So I think I'm just going to double rooks on e1. Queen f5 from Dealmaker. And now, is Dealmaker threatening anything here? I'm thinking that I should play bishop to d2. Okay, rook takes e4, and now how's this going against MMK Darshan Shul? What is my best way to make a draw here? Thinking of just going f6 and dumping that pawn so that's a double pawn. What about it? Okay, I'm just going to go f6. He might be able to surround it somehow. That's the only question. It could take him a while, but it might be good. So, and rook takes. I'm afraid of rook f4. Rook check, rook f1. Okay, I think I'm going to go rook takes pawn now. I'm liable to be down a pawn there at any moment, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, Tahoe Sam played rook AC8, and I think, let's see, I was going to try to trade off all the rooks. I don't know if I'm afraid of any kind of queen e4 stuff at those points, though. Rook c4 is interesting. I mean, I feel like my position's protected. I think I'm just going to try rook to d1. Okay, now, we have Misha Bobby is now down 3 pawns. So after rook b7, can I just retreat with rook to c2 and take it easy? Rook to d, bishop to b4, and I have rook to d1 against Spindock. Happy there to trade off all the rooks. Rook on c to d8 against Pasqualino. And now I think I'm keeping an eye out for my queen doesn't have a lot of squares. I'm gonna try pawn to b4. King to f8 from MK Dargenschool, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to try f6. Okay, queen b4 from c4 h8. I'm going to go, no, I don't know. Pawn takes pawn could open up the c farm for later, and I don't think d takes c5 is any kind of threat, really. So what's a good move for me here? Maybe can I cover up my king a little bit? How about bishop to c2? Trying for some king cover-ups. Uh-oh, e5 from Dealmaker, but I have en passant, thank God. And Spindock has gone queen to e7, so he's trying to get his queen over to my position. I think I'm going to try king to g2. Okay. Let's see. Burger Bay, knight to b4 looks like a good move. Trying to get a knight to d5, and I'm wondering here if I could go e4 myself. I'm a little worried about things though. He might get a rook to e8 or something like that. So he can get a knight to d4. All right, I think and then threaten some, and then have some threats really, e3 pawn, c3 square, stuff like that. So that looks like a good move. And let's see, where should I put my queen here? Bishop to a3 is sort of interesting, but I wonder, it keeps him from going knight d5. But I don't know, am I ever happy about taking off on b4? So that might put the bishop in the wrong place. All right, I think I'm going to try bishop to b2 and just develop. If he wants knights on d5, I got to see if I can do something to him on some diagonals. All right, I'm going to go h4. Tahoe Sam went h6. I think I'm going to go h4. Aha. Rook takes pawn, and now I think the game with MK Dargenschool should just be a draw. Okay, he offered me a draw. I don't know when that was, but I will offer him a draw back. And I will play rook takes f6. Okay, Dealmaker is threatening stuff, and now, let's see. He's threatening my c4 pawn. I didn't really do this the right way. I could have kept the tension a little bit better than what I did. And now I'm sort of like in a little bit, well, I don't know if I'm in a mess, but I think I'm going to just try queen to e2 and protect the position. Okay, pawn to e4 coming up from DK11. And now I'm thinking of rook to e7, bothering him a little bit, maybe making some threats. Okay, Misha Bobby's doubled his rooks, and I'm just going to go pawn to b3 and keep all my stuff. Pawn to d5 from chess 24. And now I'm thinking, I'm looking to see, can I take it with my bishop and then go knight takes d5? Okay, let me try that. Bishop takes. Maybe I can get some looseness of his side. Okay, knight c6 from Ernie. Ernie's doing a good job here. And if I go queen to f4, he has ideas, for instance, like queen to e4 at the right moment. And what's the situation with that? Okay, I'm going to try. Let's see, but then there could be bishop takes f6 things also. So I'm wondering what to do here against Ernie on queen f4, queen e4 kind of stuff. He might be threatening queen e4 now. and then I have to see what to do. All right, I think that I'm going to have to go queen f4 there and take my chances. Knight d3, and I'll go rook c7 check on Pasqualino. Duke bishop has gone king h8, and now can I just go bishop takes f6? And I think me and MJ Skarnaskol are exchanging draw offers, so I'm sent another draw offer to him, and I don't know if he declined it or not. So I'm just going to go. I mean, I think even if I'm down a pawn, I could draw this pretty easy. So I'll keep that pawn on d6 for a little bit. And now we have queen e4 from Tahoe Sam, and that's the kind of move that could get a little aggravating. I'm going to go rook to c2. And now knight takes d5 against chess 24. See if I can bother some pawns. Happy to trade some pieces against Pasqualino. Happy to trade knights against Burger Bay. Queen, nice to see h4, h5's queen far away from me. And now I'm trying to see, can I win this game without doing, with my king in the middle, because I don't think my king is any safer on b2, that's for sure. So I'm going to try knight to b5. Okay, rook takes d5 from chess 24. And now against Pasqualino, I guess I'll just go rook to d1. Looks nice. Some pin stuff. Burger Bay, very strong knight on d5. I think I'm going to try to get e4 at some moment. I don't know when. I'm going to try queen to f3. And now let's see. At dk11, at some point here, I feel like something bad should happen to him. Let's try queen c3. Queen e4 from Ernie. Good move. Now on queen takes, queen, pawn takes, knight g5. He has bishop takes h6. I'm going to wind up down a pawn. So I think that I have to try bishop to e3. And let's see what to do with spin dock. Spin dock's gone knight to d7. And I think I'll play a safe move here, h3. Just in case his queen gets out there somehow. Bishop to e4 from Pasqualino, and I'll go queen to b3, check, and then try and get myself out of this mess. Maybe some air on the next move. He has 2 pieces for a rook. Really, that shouldn't be enough. And also, and I have a pawn for just in case. So 2 pieces. And I have a queen and a pawn for 2 pieces. So I think that's not really enough for Pasqualino. So queen b3 check. So one game was pointed out that I could have won a piece of queen g5, but I was just so intent on not getting mated, did not see. Okay, now let's see what to do here against Pasqualino. Now, in some cases, I'm very happy to return some material. So against Pasqualino, I'm wondering here about... let's see. First, h3 sort of feels like a good move. Keep everything sort of pinned. All right, I'm going to go h3 and just give myself some air. That feels right. Okay, a6 from Dealmaker. And let's see. And now I'm looking to see how can I get some action going here against him. I shouldn't have taken, I thought I had something there, so I wound up taking too early. Let me try rook to e3. And then, but then if he goes, no, he's getting ready to double on my pawn, so that's pretty interesting here. I wonder if I should just go c5. Okay, but if I go c5, he can snatch a2. Bishop to e3, maybe. All right, bishop to e. Yeah, I'm going to try bishop to e3. Okay. Oh, bishop takes h6, pawn snatch from Ernie. Very nice, Ernie. So that could be a real pawn snatch. So now after that one, I have to look to see what is my best way to draw here. Okay, I'm going to go queen takes queen. and I'm hoping that this gives me enough to make a draw at least. I had a feeling that somehow I should have made a draw easier than this, and now I'm going to go knight to d2. So I think I'm getting that pawn. Okay, let's see what's happening here now with dk11. I can snatch a pawn on f4. I'm always keeping an eye on situations on b2, but b2 looks like it's under control. So should I go knight takes f4? Should I go rook takes and then knight takes f4? I think I'm going to go rook takes and then knight takes f4. Okay, I'm going to go c5 here against dealmaker and see if I can get my rooks in there later. I think that I misplayed this, so probably he's okay now, but I think I'm okay too. And so I'm looking forward. My favorite events of the year are always the Olympiad. And well, every 2 years is the Olympiad, and my other favorite events, or I like the Sinfield Cup is very good. That's our tournament here in the United States, and that's always a lot of fun with a usual group of strong players. And let me see what I could do to Spin Dock. Spin Dock has gone pawn takes pawn and opened me up a little bit. But can I? But I don't know. Well, he's gone f6 threatening pawn takes pawn. I'm wondering, can I go pawn takes pawn? Because his knight on f7 is hanging. So I'm looking at just pawn takes pawn here. And if he goes knight takes, it's check. My pawn structure would not be beautiful after that. That's the only thing that I'm not happy about. So the other thing I'm thinking about here is just going queen to d3 and getting his knight to move. But then can he go knight f8 and just leave it there? Well, I don't know, but then my pawn on e5 is defended. So if I can't find something forcing with pawn takes pawn, then I'll just leave it the way it is. So let's see here. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes, pawn takes. All right, I think I like queen to d3. Okay, now let's see what's up here with dk11. If there were ever a way to trade queens with dk11, I would do it. I don't know. I'm looking here at stuff like queen to a3. I don't know. Sometimes I'm thinking that I could even trade queens on b3 and then start to take off all of his pawns. So I think that I'm going to go now. I have to see if he goes a3 on the next move. I think I'm going to go knight takes f4 here. And we'll have to see. It's a little bit dangerous, but I think it's not so bad. Okay, rook c2 exchange from Tahoe Sam. I go queen takes c2, d5 from Dealmaker, and I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna see if I get double rooks on him. I'm gonna go queen to d2 and try to tie him up a little bit. Okay, knight takes c4 from Duke Bishop. In between move. But does that affect anything? No, I don't think so. I think I'll just go pawn takes c4. Okay, let's see. What do we have from Burger Bay? Burger Bay has gone queen e8, and I'm gonna see. I'm dreaming of that. I'm dreaming of my diagonal opening. You know, some kind of knight e6 combination on his, over there on his queen. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try either rook e1 here. I think I'm going to try rook e1 and see if I can get e4 and then open up my position. Okay, now what's happening here with Ernie? Ernie's after my pawns again, and the e4 pawn I could take, but can I protect my a2 pawn and my b2 pawn? So if he puts his knight on c1, does that mean anything? Okay, I'm going to go a3. Okay, pawn to b3 from Tahoe Sam. And I'm going to play it safe with queen to d2. I'm a little scared. I'm always a little scared against Tahoe Sam. Okay, Dealmaker, I'm going to go. He went rook to d7. I'm going to go bishop to d4. Bishop c5 from chess 24. And now I have to be really careful here. He's trying to get rook to d8 in. Okay, I'm going to go rook to b. I'm going to go rook to d1 and stop that, even if it loses my pawn. Okay, so now Ernie is after my b2 pawn, but I can go after his. I can go after his pawn on b5 there, b6 with knight there, and then he goes b5, and I take that one, and he takes that one, and what's going on there? So I'm just trying to draw here. So I think against Ernie, I think I'm going to go b3. Okay, queen takes a4 from Tahoe Sam. So already it's starting. He's managed to snatch a pawn from me, and maybe there's more on the way. So let's see what the story is here. I'm going to try. I don't know. I'm going to try queen to c2 and see if I can get in there. But already I'm not happy about this. Okay, DK11 has offered me a trade of queens, and this is a crucial moment here. I think I'm going to take the trade of queens, even though he's got protected pawns, and then I'm going to see what happens with that. Okay, now knight f4 from a4 h5. I'm going to try to snatch this pawn on c7 because I think it might help me. Knight c5 from spin dock. I have to trade those knights. Okay, queen g6 from Burger Bay. And that's guarding against some threats, so I have to see what to do here. Really would like to go e4, but I think that's gonna lose a pawn on f4. But if I can open up my bishops, I would gladly do it. So let me see if I can do that. It's trying to make e4 work, but don't really see how. If I wait too long, he'll go rook to e8. So if I have to go e4, I should probably do it now. And I think I'm going to try because I feel like I could get a worse position after that. All right, now, am I just winning here after queen takes f6 against Duke Bishop? He has to go bishop g7. I go knight takes f7, and then I could take his rook. So that feels nice for me. Queen takes f6, bishop e3 check. King b1 from chess 24. Knight takes f7 against Duke Bishop. Bishop g7 from Dealmaker. He wants to trade those bishops. I think I'll go for that trade. Bishop takes f4 from chess 24. So it's an interesting thing here. I don't know that this turned out so great for me against chess 24. I thought my rooks were going to get in there. And now I'm kind of stuck with this, with my bishop not looking too beautiful on a2. And I think he's better now. So I think I'm going to just try to play solidly here and go c3 and get my bishop back into the game. Okay, now what happened here? Knight takes e2. Uh-oh, I may have missed something against a4, h5 because if whatever I take this back with, it's a threat. So that was a big threat that he had there. Well, I guess I'm going to take his rook and see how it goes. All right, knight check against Ernie, and now I'm going to play, I guess I'll go king to g3. And now against DK11, I'm going to see if I can round up all of his pawns here. I'm going to go knight to d3 and take on c5 and take on b3. I should be winning. Okay, spin dock. Do I want to offer him a trade of queens on f5 is a good question. I think I like queen to f5, actually, threatening rook to d7. Okay, knight takes e5 from Duke Bishop, and that looks nice for me. Okay, now I'm just going to go against Dealmaker. I'm going to try to get double rooks. I'm going to go queen d4 check and maybe double rooks and see what I could do. Uh-oh, did not pay attention to Ernie again. Ernie has forked my pawns. Geez, I'm not with it today, boys. Okay, so king over I have to do, so now I'm trying to draw. So some pretty, I don't know, some not the best play here today. Still not losing any games, but a little bit scatterbrained in this simul, more than usual. Okay, queen to d4. Did you say? More than usual, I'm afraid. All right, I'm going to come up with my king, and we're going to see. All right, now, what is Ernie done taking my pawns, and is Tahoe Sam done taking my pawns too? Okay, let me see. Against Tahoe Sam, I'm going to try queen to c7. and just see if I can bother him a little bit. Okay, h5 from dk11. Does that really do something? I'm going to go knight takes c5. Now let me have the queen with the duke bishop. And the duke bishop takes my knight, and I go rook to b1, and I feel very nice there. I don't think my knight's getting trapped or anything. His king's a little open, and we have to see what sort of move he plays here to address this situation. As long as my knight gets out, I feel like I'm winning. Okay, knight to d4 with a serious discovered threat from a4, h5. And I have nothing better than to move my king and see how it goes. Pawn takes pawn from dk11. Pawn takes pawn. Okay, now Ernie's got this pass pawn going, and I got to try to stop it. The good news for Ernie is that his king is never really bothering me. I'm wondering if I should go g5 just to make sure he doesn't have h5. All right, I'm gonna try that. I'm just trying to draw there. I really didn't do this too well. It seems like I've drifted in a number of games, and looks like a4, h5 is one of them. And after rook takes e3, he's going to get queen g2, and I think that I've had it there. So I've taken a lot of good positions and not done too much with them. So I think that a4, h5 is winning. Let's see what's happening with Ernie now. Ernie, I think, played pawn takes pawn. Did he do it too soon? What happened there? Because I thought I'm okay. Now I just have against Archbishop, Duke Bishop. I just have to get my knight out. So I think I'm going to try rook to b6. Rook to f8 from Tahoe Sam. Very safe move. And he just wants to snatch my pawn on b2. So I'm going to go king to g2 and see what happens. Traded queens against Dealmaker. Ernie I think, has lost his passed pawn, after which I think I'm okay. Unless his knight can just run around the board and take g5 somehow, I think I'm okay now. He had to be a little more patient, and then he was going to have an outside pass pawn. But with his king pent up in there, I don't know what the story is. Probably what happens is when my knight is defending against his passed pawn, his king isn't pent up anymore, and then his king comes out, and then it's got to just be good for him. Okay, bishop h6 from a4, h5. Did he need that? All right, I guess I take that. I don't know. I mean, I got to still try after that move. And let me get Ernie's pawn out of the way, and I think I'm happy. Ernie went h5, and I'm going en passant. And I feel like everything's wonderful now. Looks like I could draw here. So that's going to be a good game against Ernie, and let's see if it just if Ernie's just has any winning chances here. He still has a pass pawn. Okay, now against dk11, I'm going to try to eliminate all of his pawns. I'm going to go rook to e3. Take that b pawn off. Okay, now I don't really understand why h5 just couldn't do what he did without bishop h6. So bishop h6 gave me something to shoot for here. So I'm going to go queen d2 and see if I can fight a little longer. Okay, trading queens against Spin Doctor, and do I get a protected pass pawn? Well, this might make me a little bit happier than I was. Okay, now against chess 24. I'm trying to get in this position after him, and I don't really see how to do it. Pawn to b3, rook to d8, queen h5. I open him up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it could be a draw here. So I'm going to just try something like queen to f7 and see if I could tie him up. Okay, I'm going to go f5 against Spin Doc, get my protected pass pawns. Here comes Tahoe Sam with his pawns. And let's see what to do here. I'm going to go, well, queen a5. Does it really stop it? Okay, I'm afraid at this point I'm desperate. I'm gonna have to try, but is he gonna go? All right, I'm gonna try e4 to shut his bishop out. Okay, king f6 against dealmaker, and I'm gonna double rooks. But then he goes king e6. No, I think I better go king e3 there. Okay, queen d1, queen check against a4, f7, and I'm going to go king to b2. So that was a game that I was sure I was kaput in, but I'm still alive. Okay, now Tahoe Sam has offered me, Ernie one has offered me a draw, and I will absolutely take it. Ernie, if you push, Ernie, you played a very tough game there. I felt in the opening you did some funny stuff with the queen. But I think after that, after I mistakenly played knight takes d5, that you were just in good shape there. Okay, now let's see what a4, a5 is. He just went queen to f3, and I'm just glad to be alive here. So I'm going to play rook to e1 and just try to hang in there. Okay, so now can I go bishop to f1 against dk and keep everybody? Okay, rook to d8. Let's see. Rook takes d8 against chess 24, and is he going to bother me with this queen stuff on? I think I feel like this. I feel like I should be drawing here, so I'm going to take on d8. And now, what's a good move here for me? I don't know. I'm looking at b3 to see. B4 to give my king some air, maybe. I can snatch a pawn on h7. Maybe does the pawn on h7 make a draw? I'm not sure. Queen d5 feels like the most solid thing to keep my queen around my king. So I think I'm going to do queen d5, and I think I'm okay to draw there. Okay, bishop g6 from dk11, and I think I can go rook takes b3 and try and eliminate those guys. Okay, now what's happening here with dealmaker? Dealmaker has gone pawn to, that looks like a good move, and now I'm looking to see, can I go c6? Let's try c6. I'm trying to draw, and now, interesting move from Spindock. And now against Spindock, can I clear things up by going rook to d7? Pawn takes pawn, rook takes rook. I think so. And now, okay, now we got a problem here with Burger Bay. Burger Bay has snatched my pawn, and he's threatening bishop takes, winning my queen. So, queen to e2, I guess I'll play. And Tahoe Sam has snatched a pawn, of course. And let me see what to do here. And let's see, I can pin him, and then he goes, okay, I'm going to try to pin him and see if I could keep him tied up there long enough for something to happen. Okay, now, who's trying to win in the chess 24 game is what I'm wondering. Let's see. If I just go queen, let's just say I go pawn to b4 or something. I don't know, pawn to b4, maybe he has bishop to e5. I want to be a little careful about how I do this. King to a1, maybe. All right, I'm going to try king to a1, and that's sort of like welcome, lets him make a draw. Well, lets me make a draw the way the thing's going. Okay, now, so we had bishop f5 from a4, h5. What's going on here? I mean, I'm up a rook in this position. I mean, what has happened here? So I guess I'm just going to go bishop takes bishop, and I'm up material there, so I'm happy about that. So it seems like there are some situations here that I'm happy about. And now let's see what's going on with rook f8 in this game with the dk11. What's my danger here? Can I just go bishop? I'm thinking about just bishop to d3. I have pawns on the other side. Bishop e2. What does he do? All right, I'm gonna try bishop to e2. Kind of a greedy move there. Okay, and now let's see. So spin dock, I feel good about this. I just want to put a knight on f5. So what's the best way to do that? Knight d4, knight h4, does it matter? So I guess I'll go knight d4 and just put a knight on f5. Okay, bishop takes d5 from Duke Bishop. And what's my easiest way to win here? Rook takes d6 would threaten a couple of pawns. Pawn takes, rook takes d7, rook takes a6 feels pretty cool. I think I'm just going to go, okay, but if I go rook takes d6, he goes bishop takes c4. All right, I'm going to go rook takes d6. I don't think he can go bishop takes c4. Okay, now let's see what's going on here. Knight takes f5. I'm going to get my knight back into the game against a4, h5. I still don't understand why he did that move. I thought he was just making a draw there. Okay, now I'm looking to see here if I can make a draw against chess 24 by going queen to d4. Okay, queen, Burger Bay has gone queen to h6. And it looks like he's threatening, is he threatening bishop e3 type of stuff here? So what's my deal here? I got to go g3. But then he goes bishop e3, so I think I have to go h3. Bishop takes e5 from Tahoe Sam, a typical shot, and not such a big surprise. And let me see, what do I do here? Can I go queen to c1? But then he'll go. Let's see. Then on queen c1 he'll go there. So all right, I'm gonna try. Well, after queen a5, he goes b2. And I think it's pretty over here. So what's the best way to keep playing here? All right, I'm going to try queen a5, f4 from spin dock, knight f5 for me. Pawn to e3 from h4, h5. And I guess I'll just get my knight into e6, try and bring that knight back, try and bother him with some threats. Okay, knight to e6. Bishop takes c4 from Duke Bishop, and I thought I had rook c1. And let's see what this is now. If a deal maker is probably becoming a draw, let's see about that. So is chess 24 becoming a draw. At least I haven't lost so many today. Okay, so now let's see. Chess 24, as long as I don't let him make any passed pawns, I should be okay here. So I think I'm going to go d4, and then I'm going to try and get my bishop out. I thought I had e5 would be good, but I think d5 should be all right. Okay, e3 from a4, h5. And now I got to be a little careful about these queen f2 check things. I'm thinking of playing, I'm thinking of just queen to e3 here. Rook b7 from Duke Bishop. All right, so I can't take his bishop because he's got a back rank mate. But those bishops are still lined up in a row. And why can't I just play something like h4? Okay, Tahoe Sam has pushed with b2. And that should about do it there. So I think that's my first loss there. So against Tahoe Sam. And bishop to e3 from Burger Bay. This is another one where it's getting a little rough. I guess I'll go king to f1. And now let's see. I got to get my pieces playing the game against chess 24. So do I want to play pawn to b3 just yet? Let's see. Or no, let's come up with the king first, and then we'll worry about pawn to b3 first. Although, is he trying to snatch my h4 pawn while I'm doing this? This is a good question. I had to be careful of that. All right, I'm going to go pawn to b3. Queen takes d5 from a4, h8, and I'm going to see, do I have rook takes e3? Rook f2 check. It's the rook f2 against Burger Bay, and looks like Burger Bay is threatening my bishop on b2 here. And I got to see, is that going to be hard to deal with? All right, I'm going to try queen to g4, but I think there's a lot of games here where I really did not pay attention too well, I got to say. Okay, now, so bishop to b1 from DK, no, bishop c2, sorry, and then I'm just going to go rook to f3. I don't want to give him pawns for nothing here. Why? Can I go rook to c3 and keep everybody? Okay, now Duke Bishop, this has got to be over. I'm just going to go rook takes c5, queen takes d5 from a4 h5. He couldn't take my rook because of the rook takes f5. So I'm going to try rook to e5 and h5 from Dealmaker. And now I have to see. I'm up a pawn here. Let me go king takes e4. Okay, pawn to c2 from a4 h5, and now I'm going to play bishop to b1, get my bishop involved, and DK11 does his only try, which is bishop to b1, and I'm going to go bishop to d3 and get rid of it. Okay, now I'm going to try rook check against Dealmaker and see if I could actually try to win this game now. So there are a couple of games where I really did not pay attention at all, and we'll see what the story is. A4 H5, I just don't understand what he did. You know, he just had something nice. Okay, I got to go King A2 against Chess 24. That shouldn't bother me too much. And let's see what's happening here. Okay, he's gonna have a protected pass pawn, but I think I'm gonna be able to block it with no problem. Bishop to d3. Okay, now deal maker. I guess I'm gonna go then king to d4. And what happened here? Knight first. Now Burger Bay is playing very accurately. Knight to f6. Looks like he's done a good job here. And I think that I have to resign there. So I just overlooked some stuff there, and very good game on his part. Okay, so now I'm going to go king to c2. I think I'm making some draws here. Deal maker, I don't know what's happening. I mean, I feel like I'm becoming better here. I'm going to be greedy and try pawn to h4 and try to get all of the pawns. Okay, Chess 24 is coming up with his king. I'm going to come up with my king and blockade. Pawn to b6 from a4 h5, and sooner or later here, well, I mean, I was looking to see can rook takes f5 win? Can rook takes f5 and queen f6 win? He'll check. He gets to check me a lot. Maybe there's gotta be an easier way to do this then. Maybe queen c4, threatening some discoveries and forcing his king into an uncomfortable spot. What about that? I got to be looking out for checks. He would have only one check. Is that right? I don't know. I feel like I should have some nice way to do this to him. Rook takes h5 and then queen e5 or something. Trying to see if then he gets queen f3 and he has queen c6. That's a million checks. All right, I'm going to try pawn to h4. Okay, now what's going on with Chess 24? I better take that pawn off on h5. Okay, let's see. Rook takes f4 from dk11, and I'll just go bishop takes b1, and I think I'm okay there. King takes a. Okay, now this is a different move than what I expected against Chess 24. He's got the king to e4, so he's going to make a pass pawn. So let me see. I'm going to try d6 to get my guy going. Queen g4 from a4 h5. And now I'm going to try pawn to h5. Queen against this, and now I took it, and now bishop there against king takes e4, and I will go d7. Pass pawns all over the place. I'm going rook g5 against deal maker. Simul's been going for about 2 hours. Let me have that bishop. Let me have that pawn on h5. I'm going to have pass pawns on both sides. Rook takes g4 from dk11, and I'm going to go knight e6. So I'm up 3 pawns for the moment. So even though he's taking a lot of stuff, I think I should turn out to be in pretty good shape here. All right, let's see. He would take. Let's see. He takes some pawns. I don't know if he doesn't. I guess I'm going to take whichever pawn he takes. I'll try and keep the other one for a little while longer. So especially if he doesn't take c4, then I like to keep all those guys together. Okay, knight to d4 from a4 h5, and all right. Let me do knight takes knight. Rook takes h4 from dk11, and I'm just going to go c5 and try and keep my guys. Because 3 pass pawns would be cool if I got to take on c7. Okay, now we got chess 24 is coming back with his king, and his bishop is not capable of stomping both pawns, I don't think. So I think I want to get a position with, let's say, bishop to e2, and I think I can make a draw. Yep. And my king on c2 is blocking. Okay, now let's see what's happening here. Queen to, let's see, rook e8 check against, I want to do this right, so queen c4 check against a4 h5. King back to e6 from chess 24. I think I'm just going to hold that pawn with bishop to b5. And move my king back and forth. And then when he gets pawn to f4 in, okay, so I'm just going to put my, I think I'm just going to put my king back here. Okay, and now against, all right, now I got to get my queen and my rook in. Now let me go pawn takes pawn first and clear that situation up. Knight to e4 from dk11, and I think that, all right, I just have to be careful of some weirdnesses here, like, you know, knight d2 and king a2 mate, although that wouldn't even be mate because I have rook a3. So it looks like I can do rook to e3, bother his knight. Pawn takes pawn, queen g3 check against, now, this is terrible here. What did I just do? And now he's gone queen to g3 check and taken my rook. So another blunder on my part. Another terrible blunder. So can I go king to a4, queen takes e5, pawn takes h7? And then, well, I don't know. I may have screwed this one up badly also. What is going on today? Just not playing accurate chess at all. All right. What can I do? I just not hanging pieces all over today. Hanging pieces all over. Okay, bishop d8 there. I got to keep that pawn. Bishop g5 from chess 24. Okay, I don't see how he's going to win. I'm just going to move my king back and forth. Rook h2 check from dk. And let's see. It looks like I'm happy to go king to d3. Bishop g5, f4 from chess 24. I'll just keep moving my king back and forth. "56 moves, long game." So I thought I was better in that opening and came out of it better, and nothing was doing. Okay, so let me go king to c4. My king's getting towards his b pawn. King back again. Rook h4. Looks like king b5. My king's running up towards his c pawn. I think that should about do it, although I thought I should about do it in another game, and it didn't about do it. So let's see what this is. Now, what's he up to here? Is he after that pawn now? All right, so let's see what to do here. Sometimes I can bring my king up to c4 in certain cases. I think that I should play bishop to b3. Bishop here forces pawn up. b5 check. Very nice move from a4 h5. Queen takes b5. Okay, knight to e3 check from knight to d3, and I guess I'll play. Where's a good place to move my rook? He wants to take the pawn on b2, so I give him that pawn, and I go king to c3. So I'm going to go rook to f3 and give him that pawn. And it looks like a4 h5 has a rook pawn situation, and that should just be a draw, I think. Let's see. Everybody's coming over. Let's see. I got nothing to do but lose by doing the race. All right. I guess I'll just go knight takes. Well, I could go rook check and take that with my rook. I think I'm going to do that. Rook f8 check and take the pawn with my rook. I like my knight on d6. That's against dk11. It looks like my passed pawns should eventually bring in the win. Rook check again, and rook takes c7. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Okay, rook takes c7, and now I'm going to push my pawn up. I think a4 h5 has made the draw. I don't know what he's thinking about. His king has to come closer. I guess he could consider a5, but I don't think so. And all in all, not too bad a Simul. I overlooked a couple of things. The usual game, the usual loss to Tahoe Sam, and there were a couple other shaky games. So, but it happens. So I mean, I saw Tahoe Sam offer me a draw, but I had nothing to lose by trying to play this anyway. Okay, let's see what DK is up to here. Something to do with rook to b4 check, I would think, right? So what is my best way to do this then, to get my king out of trouble? Run into c6. Yeah, I think pawn to d5 should be good. Okay, Tahoe Sam. King to b5. King there, and it's a draw. We'll just play it out. What the heck? He has to move a little faster, though, but you get 30 seconds to move, so it's okay. So that game was annoying for me because it was just, well, I shouldn't say it was annoying for me. It's probably annoying for both of us because he had an easy win. I don't know why he didn't play queen g2 without going bishop h6. There was just no reason to do that. It was the same thing, I think. All right, now against chess 24, I just put my bishop on e2 and put my king on c2, and that should make the draw no problem. And he offered a draw. If he offers a draw, I'm sorry. Sometimes when I play him, I don't see what's on the bottom of the screen, and that's what tells me the word draw never pops up for some reason. It's usually the said word doesn't pop up, but just the printed word, and I don't all the time see it because it switches so fast. The boards switch very fast. So Simon's coming down to an end. Thanks for playing, everybody. Simon's gone a little more than 2 hours. Okay, me and A4 H5 are playing it out till the bitter stalemate end. And good game. He played a very good attack, then missed something, and then I missed something, and it ended in a stalemate. Maybe it's appropriate that way. Good game, H4, H5. So, and strong opening, interesting piece sack. Knight F4 was a strong move what you played there. Okay, what's happening here with DK? If I just push the pawn, let's see, if I push the pawn and threaten to make a queen, what happens to me? Let's see if I maybe can overlook something and mess this one up too. I don't think so. There's been a lot of overlooking today, and I'm not happy about it, but but it's I guess when you're playing 20 boards at once, it's not so easy, but even so, got to do a better job. So Sinquefield Cup is coming up next week. I'm heading to the U.S. Open on Wednesday. Going to attempt to play. Hopefully I play better than I played today. Going to a 4-day schedule. See what happens. I play. I'm still pretty good fast player, so we'll see how that turns up. It'll be nice to go to a tournament. Then for our coverage of the Sinquefield Cup should be interesting, and the Olympics. The Rio and the Chess Olympics are coming up this month. So for sports people, that's a nice thing. And for people that don't like sports, it's also a nice thing. Okay, I think I can just make a queen against DKA1, go up a knight and a pawn and win pretty easily. If he had some rook check in the back, that might have been a problem, but I don't think he does. So I think it's pretty easy, and I cut his king off, which is nice also. And that should about do it in that game. And we'll see what my results are. I don't really keep track of them when I'm playing. Let's give him a check. Force his king to the side. I'm going to guard that pawn with my life. I don't know. I thought Chess 24 offered me a draw. It's just a draw here. Okay, now DK, I guess I just go rook to D7 and start to push my pawn up. And so about a 2 hour and 10 minute Simul. Okay, let me, his king's cut off. Let me push the pawn up again. He has a trade of rooks, but then my king supports my pawn, so that wins pretty easily. And then I'm just going to, normal play here, not do anything crazy. Okay, king up. Rook takes, pawn takes. Uh-oh. Did I screw this up too? And king e7. My God. Look at the things I've done in this Simul. Well, good defense. Good defense. I should really be ashamed of myself today. And this Simul has ended in the way all the other games have gone. So I'm really, I hope next month I play better than this, or, and I hope I play better in the U.S. Open, better than this, because this is a little, especially this one. It's a very embarrassing. I mean, that's the way it goes. Okay, so good job, everybody. And even though I didn't lose too many, there were lots of. Well, okay. I think Dealmaker. I think Dealmaker. Did I win that one? Yeah, Dealmaker. I was going to clean out his pawns. Burger Bay did not play too well in the opening. Duke Bishop just he fell for a trick with Knight H6. Tahoe Sam always beats me, and much the same. I played very safely, but he found some good stuff. Spin Dock, I was his position. I won a pawn early, and it wasn't so good. Let's see, and Ernie, I got the better of it, and then I played Exchange Knights on D5 and turned it into a draw. And then I tried to win, didn't get anything. Pasqualino, I think, had a good game, but just fell for a shot. I'm not sure. He opened up the position a little too soon. Uh, M. Darkshinshul was just a pretty solid game in a Bogo Indian. Misha Bobby overdid it, got into an anti-positional game and lost a pawn, and then it was all downhill. Too solid for me. Um, let's see. Abba's child, want a life full of excitement, meaning, and purpose. Make Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior. Okay, thank you for that. But you can see the final position. He got himself into trouble in a Dutch defense. Um, Jay Russell, I threatened mate, and I was trying to win his knight back. He protected his knight, and I played 16 Queen H7 mate. Yes, it was pointed out to me that on King E7, I had Queen G5 and Queen takes E3 against Alexis. Not alert play at all. Saber-tooth Tiger just had a terrible position. He played knight E4 and resigned. I didn't even see that one. I play knight takes E4 and he loses a piece, but his position was bad anyway. B4 is coming. And so he should have never allowed that pawn to C5. And that was it for the Simul. So let's see. Was there are there any more games? I don't think so. I don't think there's any more. Are there any more games going on? It usually tells me what the score was. Let's see. The score: 6 draws and 2 losses. Too many draws, and really ridiculous. Some of them really terrible on my part. I will try harder next month. And I just some of the draws the last 2 draws I fell into were quite unbelievable, but that's the way it goes. So 8 wins, 6 losses, and 2 draws. Not bad as far as the losses go. Too many draws, and only 8 wins. So next month I got to do better than that. So thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Simul. See you guys in August. And enjoy all the tournaments that are coming up, right? And the regular Olympics and whatever else happens. Okay, thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a good weekend, rest of your weekend, and see you in August. Bye.